Well, really looking back at the last 20 to 50 years, there's really a very, very small number of years where we've seen snow down to low levels at this time of the year. And I think this year is going to be like most years, where any snow that we do see this Easter weekend is going to be pretty much over higher ground. Thanks for clicking on to the Tuesday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. Looking at the GFS and other models, it has very much toned back or toned down, pulled back from the idea of a beast from the east, number 3. I think it is going to turn colder. We are going to see some snow, but that snow is going to be largely over higher ground, and we will get the return of frosty nights once again. But really, any kind of low level snow will be confined, I think, to overnight hours, and really there's not going to be an awful lot in the way of accumulation. So looking at the latest GFS, you can see here that we've got a pretty mixed and messy picture. We've got an area of low pressure down through the channel at the moment as we push through the course of tomorrow, and we've got another area of low pressure up to the south of Iceland here. Area of high pressure over Scandinavia that builds, and what we are going to see is incoming areas of low pressure essentially get stalled and then get reverted back to the southwest as the heights come up over the top. So we can see here, as we go through the second half of this working week, we are going to start to see areas of low pressure help pull in that colder air from Denmark, from the Baltic Sea, from the Scandinavia. That air is going to get transported in over the top of these areas of low pressure. But like I say, I think any snowfall will be largely a high ground feature. I don't think this air mass will be outstandingly cold versus the time of the year. Now yes, we are further on in the year. We are going to be entering the month of April. The clocks have changed, of course, but it can still get cold at this time of the year, and I think we're going to get a pretty kind of normal early spring brand of cold, if you will, and I don't think this is going to be a major deal. So as we continue to skip through into Easter weekend, you can see here that we are going to have that easterly flow once again. So yes, we are going to see the return of that biting easterly wind coming across the North Sea here. Snowfall will come in the form of convective sea effect showers once again, but I really, really don't think this is going to be a massive deal. Like I say, the majority of any kind of low-level snowfall, and there is a small possibility of that, it will be during the overnight that you get any form of accumulation. The sun angle at this time of the year is just that you need an incredibly cold, anomalous air mass at this time of the year to kind of support any significant snow event. It's just simply too late in the year for that now at low levels. So we skip through Saturday and into Sunday here. We're largely high and dry. There's not much in the way of snow to talk about. Fresh by daytime in the sunshine, out of any breeze. We're talking about 8 to 10 Celsius quite easily now at this time of the year. And then of course once the sun goes down at night, we cool back down and we will see the return of frost once again. But really, on the grand scheme of things, this upcoming Easter weekend is going to be largely uneventful. And then as we go into the early part of next week, we've got another system comes up that bumps into the cold air. Again, high ground feature in terms of snowfall, North Pennines, Southern Uplands, Highlands, as this area of low pressure lifts northwards here and engages with that cooler air over the British Isles. Let's have a quick look at the CFSV2 weeklies here and see what the latest is showing with regards to the overall pattern as we go into April. I still think we are going to have a cool April. Nothing record breaking or outstanding, but a cool April nonetheless. Upcoming 7 days, low pressure firmly in charge. Then we've got high pressure to the east, low pressure to the west. That to me would generally say a southwesterly flow, but we will wait and see. And then of course you can see here that the CFSV2 does have high pressure building. You notice here in between the 17th and the 24th we've got high pressure to the west, so that may indicate a little bit more of a blocky pattern once again. What I do think is going to be the case is I think it's going to be a fairly dry April, and that could have consequences as we push towards the late spring, and then of course the early part of the summer. And through the month of April I will be talking more and more about my ideas for the summer. At this moment in time, still too early. It used to be that I would issue my summer forecast, on the 1st of April or the 31st of March, in fact. But I found there was too many mistakes getting made, because the big deciding month can be April, and a lot of that is to do with how much rainfall we see during the month of April. That can have a massive impact on shaping the atmosphere for the warm season. So I've held back the past couple of years to see what the month of April does. Doesn't always work out that, a wet April or a dry April will give you X amount of results, but there is some truth to having wet ground and a wetter summer, drier ground, and a warmer summer. So we'll wait and see what happens. 2-meter temperature anomalies, and then I'll end with this. You can see here of the CFSV2 and the upcoming week. You can see here that, no surprise given what I've just showed you of the GFS, it is cooler than normal, considerably cooler than normal in fact. So it's going to be interesting to see just how chilly we can get. Looking back to the last bitterly cold March, which of course was 2013, we had a temperature of -11 during the April of that year. So we'll wait and see how cold it gets. Let me just say this much: April can be a cold month, and we can still get double digits below freezing at night. So we're going to wait and see how cold it actually gets. Then week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, which takes in the month of May, by the way, it still shows cooler than normal. So we'll wait and see exactly what takes place. Hope you have a great Tuesday evening, and I'll be back in the next few days with more. Bye for now.